Again, another one. It's confirmed Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are getting remastered. If you're here for the very first time, thank you for joining me, and I do hope that you like this video, and if you want to, you can subscribe. If not, that is cool as well. If you're returning as well, thank you for hanging out with me. It's awesome that you've come back. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was a phenomenon. It was basically like Pokemon for the Game Boy, except this was for the sporty crowd, and this was on PlayStation. If someone had a PlayStation, they were playing this game, and you can guarantee it. And if you're old enough to remember this, then you probably at least rented this game once or twice from the rental shop. We had Video Easy here for me, and believe me, some days I miss the days of Video Easy and Blockbuster, where you could just go and try out a game, take it back for a weekend, and that was it. It was awesome. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was basically the game that you played to look cool if you weren't cool, and if you were cool, you were playing it already anyway. Everybody was playing this game. It had a killer soundtrack. The moves were all there. You could finally do everything you ever dreamed of being able to do, but really, probably, if you're like me, you definitely couldn't do any of that stuff. If you couldn't skateboard in real life, then this game, it finally offered you the chance to actually be a star, to be the star that you always knew you were. So this Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was just those kinds of games, you know what I mean? So why wouldn't you take the opportunity? If you knew that you could do all of these things and you couldn't do them in real life, then why wouldn't you shine? Honestly, this was a no-brainer. This game was epic, and you know what? I can remember pouring hours upon hours into this game for literally no reason at all. I wasn't even playing the main game to unlock stages. There was no achievement system that I remember because I didn't do any of that stuff. It was literally just me, my controller, and the digital dude on the screen and his board, okay? And somehow that was enough to be bliss. Now, it seems like we're going to get the chance to experience this bliss once more with the announcement of Pro Skater 1 and 2 getting remastered and basically sending waves of not what we wanted, but definitely what we needed through the community, through every gamer out there that used to play this game. It was nostalgia to gamers who remember what it was like having to hook up a PS1 or even a PS2 just to play these games, and now you can play this with updated graphics, and I'm assuming the same soundtrack. I have no clue if that is the case though, or if it's been verified as of the time of recording this. But you know what? That'll probably be expensive as hell for Sony to get all the licenses for, which I would imagine is technically probably the worst option for them monetarily, because Sony doesn't seem to shill out stuff like that if you look at other systems, and we'll get to that. I can understand why this might be happening though. Let's take a quick look. Over the past few months, especially with all the buzz about the PS5, it is understandable that people would wonder what games need to be brought back for the PlayStation 5 era of games, what franchises have been neglected and probably need to be brought back to life and have received, a poor send-off for the last game that they had. What can be resurrected? What do we want to see? What are those franchises that we need? And this Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is one of those franchises, and let's be honest here, it's one of those franchises that have needed a rejuvenation for quite a while. And you know what, while Sony made some poor game choices with the PlayStation Classic, it is clear the focus for their next major console is to make it a hit and to bring back stuff that are going to bring gamers back. And as if, the other systems haven't sold incredibly well, let's be honest. All of the PlayStations by the Classic have sold well enough for PlayStation, for Sony to basically just be in a league of, their own. They're a titan at this point. And this time, they seem to be digging up, something that'll make people actually want to get the games. And although, you know what, I do know that this is Activision's property and they're probably the ones who are making sure people, want this game and they're working on it. But Sony, through the PlayStation YouTube channel and all of that stuff, have been pushing this right now just so that we know that it's coming out. So Sony is definitely doing this to make sure that we get wind of this. So people are going to go out there and get this game and, relive that classic feeling, that classic phenomenon. Now, from what I understand so far, by the way, the Pro Skater series, these games, the first 1 and 2 remastered, will be on the PS4. But let's not forget about the PS5 and the fact that it's supposed to have backward compatibility, which means if Activision intends to revive this series, then this would be a very, very smart start to actually getting people back into the Pro Skater phenomenon and into the franchise. Actually, this is probably a clever as hell start, because not only are you tugging at the heartstrings of older gamers you're also pulling in newer and younger gamers who hated the initial polygonal graphics, but you know what, now they can experience these older games with fresh coats of paint. It is a very smart option to do, and I have to say, I'm definitely happy that Activision and Sony are basically starting to realize that reviving the older franchises, the older games, and the whole series that goes with that can be very good for not only the wallets that they have, but also for fan service, which brings up morale, and it doesn't get everyone simply thinking that Sony is in it for the money, which, you know, let's be honest, the PlayStation Classic was completely an attempt at a money grab. I did purchase one. It was not the best system until people found that how to hack it, and you know, now it's in another league altogether. But hopefully this game and this series and Activision working with Sony on this won't be a money grab. You know what does worry me though about this whole thing, and I'm not sure whether they'll confirm anything like this until the game comes out, but if they decide to put in any microtransactions or, you know, any small way of trying to monetize these games when they come out, that is something that is very big in a worrying front, because I think it will take away from the purity of remastering and reviving these games. Sure, they might be doing that in the next few games, no worries, but these games should be left untampered. Just give them a new coat of paint, bring them out the way that they were. I'm honestly not sure what's going to happen, but I am hopeful that Activision will go the way of fan loyalty in this case for these games and fan service, as opposed to basically greed, money, and power. But you know what? Who knows what's going to happen? I am unsure. What do you think? Let me get into your mind. Leave a comment down below. Is this going to be the perfect moment of nostalgia with updated graphics? Or do you think that Tony Hawk's should basically be left in the past as a relic of a supposedly better time for gaming? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you did like this video, then why not give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, or you don't have to. That is completely up to you. But thank you for joining me. Whatever you decide is, you know, it's on you, and that's awesome. Or if you're a returning guest, by the way, thank you for hanging out with me. It has been awesome. Thank you for coming back, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.